Today we're going to be using oil pastels to get our paper ready to weave. So you'll have a small piece of paper and we're going to use some oil pastels. You need to have two different papers today. So one will be the cool colors and one will be the warm colors. I'm going to start with the cool colors. I've already picked out a blue and a green. I want to find as many different shades of blues and greens and purples that I can for my oil pastels, and I'll just go ahead and pull them out and have them ready. You get to choose what color you're going to start with in the center of your paper. Oil pastels are a perfect material to cover paper really quickly because they're so waxy. They're made of oil and they leave a really cool texture on the paper. It kind of feels really smooth. So you want to push down until there's no more white space. And then we transition to another cool color. This is a pink, but pink and purple can be cool colors. I'm going to make sure I'm making another circle around the circle I've already made, and I'm filling in all the white space, and I'm pushing down hard to get rid of that white space and to smudge my oil pastel onto the paper. Now already I've got a lot of little bumps of oil pastel, like extras on the paper. You just tap those on your table. You can get rid of them. You really don't want to smudge them with your hand because you can smear the oil pastel, so try to tap off or blow off what you can. Okay, so continue with the cool colors, making circles, and really this could be any shape that you wanted to make. It could be anything that's concentric, which means you start with one in the center and you just keep making that shape larger and larger. So you could start with a triangle, or you could start with a square or rectangle or diamond or heart, but I'm doing a circle. You can choose whatever shape you want to continue with. You would just keep making larger ones around it. We're going to continue this oil pastel coloring to the outside of the page until there's no more white space on the page. Okay, once you have filled up the entire page with color, you're going to take your paper and tap it again. Get rid of all that extra oil pastel, all those little bumps. And then we're going to take the eraser at your table and we're going to create this like tie-dye smudge effect. I'm at home making this video and this is the only eraser I have, but you have pink ones at your table, just the little rectangle pink erasers. You're going to use the corner of the eraser, start in the center, and you're going to pull that eraser out to the edge. And it's going to take the oil pastel and it's going to smudge it all the way out. Continue back in the center every time in the same place, and then create another line all the way out to the edge. This is creating a radial design, something that goes from the center outwards, and it's smudging the oil pastel into the next section by pulling with the eraser. Keep using the corner of the eraser and try always to start back in that center. This is going to create like a tie-dyed effect. You want to make sure you leave enough space between all of the lines, because then once we get a bunch of lines from the center, we can then take our eraser from the outside and go back into the center, which is going to make the colors from the outside come in instead of the inside going out. So we'll have the opposite happening in between each of those lines. So I'm going to start here in between and pull it back to the center. Pull it back to the center. And that's what's going to create that like tie-dye illusion. Turning the page helps me. All right, and if you want that color back in the center again that you had, you can go back and color it, or you can just leave it the tie-dyed look. You did this with a cool colored page, and you also need to do it with a warm colored page. Once you get this done, start your warm page.